Okay, right. So a very good evening, guys. Can you let me know if you all can hear me and also see a screen? Yes. Right. Nice. So nice to see all of you all. Some of you all after some time, some of you all I would have seen you all last week as well. Give me 1 second, guys. My voice is not the perfect today. Okay, so today's session, guys, I'm not really going to teach any econ today, but what we're going to do is we are going to work on making a small plan, and I'm going to give you a few tips what you can do to get the best out of the next 3 months. So there are talks about the exam getting postponed. Different people are saying this and that, but there is no official word out yet. So as of now, your exam will happen on the in the end of November. So if you're looking at an exam towards the end of November, you have a little bit more than 3 months to go. So already in August, 10 days are done. So August, September, October, and let's say it's a little bit more than 3 months. So let's say, I think how many days anyone has a count on your phone? Somewhere close to 100? 105. Okay. So you have 105, 105 to 106. Okay. So that's the amount of days that you have. So how are you going to make the best use of those days? Now, we can't change what happened in the past, like I always say. What you have been doing for the last 2 years, we can't change. Time is gone, and that time is not going to come back. But what we can change is what we are going to do in the next 100 days. Yes, I will mainly focus on econ, but I also will give you a little bit of a plan for your other two subjects as well. So I'm going to give you a few tips. We'll make up a small plan because different students lamai are at different levels. So there is no one plan that will fit all of y'all. Some of y'all are already, let's say, at a level of, let's say, 75. Some of y'all are struggling to pass the exam. Some of y'all are, let's say, already at a level of, let's say, a 200, not a 200, let's say a 90. So different people are at different plans, different levels. So the plan for you will be a little different. So we'll start and we'll get going. Uh, I'll give you all a few tips. I'll answer a few common questions that most of you all have been texting me lately, and we'll see how things will go. So this session is not a very long one, Lamai. I'm thinking of around 1 hour to 1.5 hours only. I'm not going to drag this for lies. I'll give you the most important things. I'll also tell you how the mock exam series works so that you know how you can get the best use of it. And we'll after that, we'll wrap it up. So give me a second. Let me share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so uh, today's session, like I said, will be about a plan, a few simple things. I'm not giving, I'm not going to give you an exact plan. I'm going to help you make a plan on your own and to get things done. So for those who are listening to me for the very first time, I'll just give you a small intro about who I am. I'm Arshad, and I have been teaching for the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years. I currently am working in the field of economics as well. I work as a senior research analyst at an econ firm called Frontier Research. So what I basically do is the role mostly is like a consulting type of a job. I do presentations along with the people that work for clients. We do reports. So we do different things. That's one main reason that I don't do a physical class because I don't really have the time. The other thing is because of that, I'm also very updated about what is happening in the country right now because that itself is my full-time job. Apart from that, I'm an economics graduate from the University of Colombo, the Faculty of Management and Finance. I'm a SIMA past finalist as well. Yeah, that is basically a bit about me. Okay, I schooled at St. Thomas's, Mount Lavinia. That's where I did my advanced levels. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me for those who don't know me at all. So a few things, Lama, we'll start off with. Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions, right? Different people text me for different things. So there've been a lot of common problems that y'all have been asking. You can also add into this for what if you all have any questions apart from this. So one question that I have been getting is how to manage seconds. One common question that I keep on getting is on how to manage time. Okay. So we have 3 subjects to do, very little time. How do I manage time? That's one question that I will address. Another question that some of you all have asked, or most of you all do ask is, sir, I have studied, but I don't remember. I have studied, but I don't remember. So studied, but don't remember. Any other questions that you have, Lama? Apart from these are the most common ones that I get. Anything else? You can use the chat box, send in what are the problems, whatever issues that you have. Little by little, we'll start addressing them and we'll see what we can do. These are the most common too. Apart from that, is there enough time to get an A? Okay, right. Okay, answer structures. So how do you structure an answer? Answer structures. Right, then enough time to get an A. Anything else? Do you have enough time? Managing the 3 subjects. At a W. Addicted to the phone and music. Right. Nice. Okay, right. So I've got around 100 odd messages already. I'll come to all of this. I think most of these revolve around the ones that I have written over here, which I feel I will address along the way. Okay, so what past papers to do, how many times to do, when to do, all of it will come along with this. Okay. So now we'll get started and we'll get going. So these are the most things that you all have. So one common problem that you all have is Lamai, to manage your time. Because I totally understand that you have 3 subjects. I also did A levels back in 2017. I know how it is to manage 3 subjects, and I know the amount of pressure that you have in these last few days. Have you all also had this problem, Lama? You have so much to do, but at the end, you just end up sleeping. Have you had that issue? You end up doing nothing and you're just sleeping. In the middle of the day, also, you're having a small nap. At night, also, you're having a small nap. That happens, Lamai, when you are too stressed out. When you don't know nothing to do, when you don't know where to start, that is where you end up getting these, taking these small naps in the afternoon. Different things happen because of that. I'll give you a solution for that as well. So don't worry, we'll start. So a few tips, Lamai. Okay. In order to manage time, one main thing is, I will talk about that main thing in a while, is to make one main thing is to make small and realistic plans. I'll show you how to do this. I will leave the first point for now, and I will come to this in a while. That's the first main thing to do. Apart from this, there are a few more other things. If you all remember, Lamai, around 4 months ago, I also had a similar session like this with you all. And I gave you all something called a time tracker. I will share this in the group at the end of this class as well. I think if you can track your time, okay, guys, let me see if I have the, okay, let me share the time tracker on the group now itself so that I can talk about it. Give me a second. Let me find that on my phone. So I'll share it on the main groups that I sent the link on. Okay. There is one group. So with the time tracker, Lama, you can track and see what you do and what you don't. With that, you can actually see how much time you waste, how much time you actually study. So I think I sent you a PDF on the group. You can actually download that, maybe get a printout. So that document, Lamai, it looks like a very small piece of paper, but something like that actually helps you to track your time. So what you need to do is, you can see a lot of boxes, 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 a table over there. So use certain colors for certain activities that you do. So you all might have colored pens, you might have highlighters, you might have different things that is over there. So then what you can do is, let's say your studying is highlighted in yellow. So get a printout at the start of the week. Now, tomorrow is the start of a new week. So if you can get a printout tonight itself, and then keep highlighting whatever you do. So if you sleep, that's on a different color. If you study, that's a different color. If you do go to school or go to class, that's a different color. Your daily activities, that's a different color. At the end of the day, see how many hours do you spend studying? How many hours do you sleep? How many hours do you do something else? Your objective is, Lamai, every day to reduce the amount of time that you waste and to increase the amount that you study. Now, where does this time tracker help, Lamai? It makes you feel guilty. Now, let's say you have slept in the afternoon for around 4 hours. Whenever you color that, let's say you color sleep in blue. Whenever you, yes, you can work digitally also if you want to, but better to get a printout, otherwise you're always on your phone. So once you color, and whenever now, let's say your studying is colored in one color, you're motivated to Lamai increase that study time. So I know this worked for me as well, because let's say I color studying in, let's say, green. I am now motivated to increase the amount of greens that is there in my day. So let's say I plan to study for 1 hour, I color it in green. Now I want to study for another half an hour because I want to color a little bit more in green. So you try doing that. That can also definitely help with helping you manage your time. That's the time tracker. I'll come to the first one in detail in a while. Then apart from that, Lamai, another big problem that a lot of you all have is your phone. On your phone, your social media applications, some of y'all are maybe addicted to music, some of y'all are addicted to games, some of y'all are not addicted to anything, but you're just scrolling WhatsApp, looking at each other's statuses, scrolling on Instagram, looking at stories, looking at memes on Facebook, whatever that you do. So what I will recommend is, Lamai, now I feel it's not easy to completely get rid of your phone. You can't all of a sudden go from here to no phone at all. But I'll tell you, if that phone was not there, the amount of time that you will save is so much. You know, I realized this the day one day my phone broke. Okay, so my phone broke and I gave it to make for a couple of days. So my phone was with the repairing place. Those 2 days, I didn't have a phone and I realized that I had so much of time. Usually, I'm a person who keeps complaining, I don't have the time, karana back, can't do this, can't do that. But on those 2 days, I realized how peaceful my life was and how much of time I actually had to do other stuff. So you go onto your phone, on your settings, look at your screen time. I'll give you 1 minute. See if you can find that your screen time. See how much my average screen time per day is around 7 to 8 hours. So out of my 24 hours, I spend 7 to 8 hours on my phone. Another 7 to 8 hours, let's say I'm sleeping. I think at least if you're somewhere around 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours at your level, I think it is okay. Maybe around 2 hours max. It's okay. But if you're usually spending more time than that, then there is a problem. Now, some of you all might have high screen time because you all join to the class online. That is okay. But apart from that, if you're wasting a lot of time, then that's a problem. If you're on studying using the phone, then that's fine. Maybe watching a recording, that's okay. But if you're spending that time on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, whatever else that you do, then that is something that you should be getting rid of. And I'll tell you, in the last few months, I uninstalled all my other applications. So 12 hours, that's a lot, right? So I uninstalled Facebook, I uninstalled Instagram, I uninstalled every other nonsense that was there. I think WhatsApp also I uninstalled because we didn't have online classes at that point. I don't think you all can. But if you really think WhatsApp is what is annoying, Lamai, maybe uninstall WhatsApp, add your parents' number to the group. That's okay. You're still going to get the WhatsApp group link, right? Your mother's number, your father's number, add it to the group. So you can get things done. So that's another thing that is eating up your time. So to make better use of your time, one is to make small and realistic plans. I'll show you how to do that in the next section. Having a time tracker, getting rid of that phone, and especially the social media that is out there. Apart from that, Lamai, if you realistically see, some of your Lamai are also wasting a lot of time in the road. Okay, when I say time in the road, not just traveling to school, sometimes traveling up and down for classes. After you come from class, then you're tired. You can't get things done. Sometimes, Lamina, even in school right now, if you feel like nothing is happening, don't go. If you have the sleeping issue, I'll sort it out. Okay. If you feel like there is nothing else that is happening, maybe go 1 day a week. The other days, Lamai, actually stay at home. Because just think, let's say one day, if you stay at home without going to school, you wake up at around 4 o'clock in the morning. And if you can study with breaks in the middle, okay, if you can peacefully study Lamai at least until around 2 in the evening, 2 in the afternoon, that's the time that you come from school. So 4 a.m. to 2 p.m., that itself is 10 hours of study. That's a lot of studying now. In 10 hours, you can finish a lot of things. So if you can now, usually in the morning, you don't have classes and stuff. There are some teachers who have, but not every day. So you put that aside, put your phone aside, put everything aside. From 4 to around 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, you can work on getting a lot of things covered. Yeah. That's something that I will recommend. And some of y'all are night people. Some of y'all are morning people. So I will not say everyone should be able to study from 4 in the morning. That's the ones who are night people, maybe you can study at night club. Maybe what you can do is you start at around, I don't know, I'm not a night person, but some of you all might be. You start at around 10 o'clock, go till around 6 o'clock in the morning, if that is what works for you. So also when you're studying, put your distractions aside, Lamai, especially your phone. Because what happens is you study for 30 minutes. For a 5-minute break, you take your phone. But that 5-minute break takes up another half an hour to 1 hour. Another half an hour to 1 hour. You're now scrolling your phone, you're playing on different things, and that is what actually happens. So as much as possible during your breaks, avoid your phone. During your breaks, walk around the house, go to the washroom, product, wash your face, eat healthy stuff, maybe have a fruit, have something like that, then you can get that done. And if you're not a morning person or if you're not a night person, now you can't all of a sudden go to, let's say, studying from 4 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. That doesn't happen. So maybe what you can first do is start small. Start at, let's say, you start from around 7 in the morning. That's the time you wake up to go to school anyway, no? 7 in the morning until 10 in the morning. Little by little, you extend it. Now, next day, few days later, you're waking up at 6:30. A few days later, you can wake up at 6. A few more days later, you can wake up at, let's say, 5. So little by little by little by little, okay, you increase. So that is something that you can do. So avoid that traveling, that all of it, because you all know, Lama, even if you go to school, just as you come back, you can't start studying. You come back, you have lunch, you have a wash. How many of you all, anyone goes directly into study? Very rare, no? After going to school, come back, you eat and have wash, and now you're product tired. Now you want to have a small nap. Then your nap goes until around 5, 6 o'clock, and that's most of the day done. So then when what time do you have to really study? You don't really have time to study. So I think that is something that you should avoid, Lama. Reduce that time that you're wasting on the road and also maybe at school if nothing is getting done. You need to prioritize. You might miss a few school work, but at least staying at home, you can finish a lot of things on your end. Those are a few tips to manage your time. So going into Lamai, this whole problem of sleeping too much, not being able to get work done. So what you need to do is, okay, what you need to do is the small and realistic plans, Lamai. This is what I want you all to do on a daily basis. Now you all know, Lamai. Now you all have 3 subjects now, not just econ. You know, for those 3 subjects, what and what you have studied, what and what you have not studied. I don't know what you have studied. You know how good you are at the subject, how bad you are at the subject. That is what you know. I don't. So what I will recommend you is, now there is so much. If you take all 3 subjects, so much of units, so much to study. But if you think of all of that at once, you're going to start getting stressed. You will not get any of it done. You will think, econ, I have to do this, I have to do this. You don't know where to start. You will not do anything. So when you're making a plan, yeah. So when you're making a plan, I would recommend, Lamai, maybe do this today after this class. First, have a weekly plan. So today you can do that. Now today is Sunday. For the next 1 week, you roughly have some idea what and what you have next week. Some of you all, yes, I have to go to school. I have a school term exam. I have to go to this class. You roughly have, you know, right? I have a wedding coming up. I have this, I have that. You all know what you have. So have a weekly plan. So in this weekly plan, you will just roughly jot down what you want to do. Don't think about the entire syllabus. Just think about the next week. Make a realistic plan. Lama. In 1 week, you can't learn the entire syllabus. So when you're making your plan, okay, right, this week, and you don't have to always start from unit number 1, Lama. That happens with some people. Every time when they start studying, they start with unit number 1. Now, unit number 1, they have studied around 20 times. Other units, they have not studied. That happens. So therefore, what you want to do is, you first make a weekly plan. Okay. In your weekly plan, let's say I will jot down this week, I will be doing, let's say the 2011 and 2012 accounting past paper, whatever, right? I will do, for econ, I will learn unit number 7, right? So likewise, now you jot down everything you want to do the week, but be realistic. You know what and what you can do for the week. Now, be realistic. So likewise, jot whatever you want to do. Then, Lamai, after you make this weekly plan, now what you do is you break this into a daily plan. You break this into a what? Into a daily plan. So before you go to sleep, or maybe even next day morning, in the morning of that day, or the previous night, from your weekly plan, now tonight I know what my day looks like tomorrow, un unless anything unexpected happens. Now, all of you all know what you all have tomorrow, right? You know, there is not going to be anything unexpected. That's a different story, but you know that, okay, if you have to go to school, you know that you have to go to school. If you have a class, you know that you have a class. So you all know what you have, Nilamai. You know you have 24 hours. In that 24 hours, you know what and what you have. So based on how your day is looking like for tomorrow something you might have. Everyone's tomorrow is not the same. Some of y'all might have nothing tomorrow. No school, no class, nothing. Some of y'all tomorrow you might have class from the morning until night. So you know how your day is looking like. Based on how your day is looking like, from your weekly targets, weekly you have, no, this week I will finish all of this, Kela. Take some of it onto your day. And based on how your mood is looking like all. Sometimes like tomorrow is a day that you feel like can't sit and study theory. I want to do some sums. So tomorrow may be under. That's the day for accounting then. So depending on how your mood is, depending on how your day is looking like, what you do is you have a daily plan. If something unexpected happens, we can move it to another day. But basically, you know, Nilamai, there will not be very huge unexpected things. You all of a sudden you will not have a trip that you will go tomorrow. So that's not going to this. Yeah. So maybe you can do this even in the morning. Then in a day, you don't, it depends on you. If you feel like my entire day is to do business studies, do business studies. If you feel like I'm going to do little by little of everything, do that. That's all right. You don't have to get that done. It doesn't have to be equal amount of hours for each subject. It doesn't have to be entire day one subject. That depends on your mood again, Lava. Because if you feel that you're not productive, Tagala, move to something else. Now, for example, you started, let's say, in today's daily plan, you had unit number 7, the first half of the unit. Plus accounting, you're going to do some past paper. That is your target for today. When you're learning unit number 7, now you are getting a little bored. You're getting a little sleepy, right? You're thinking, you know, this is not going to work. What do you do then? Stop it. Move to the other one. Because Lamai, what will happen is if you're not going to move to something else, you're just going to waste your entire day looking at one page, not reading. If you feel that your brain is not functioning to study this part, if your brain is not functioning, if your brain is not in the mood to study econ today, fine. Let it go, go to something else. Don't waste time trying to do that. So make a small realistic plan and get that done. Now, so you will realize now, for a day you're doing a very little only. So today you did only half of unit number 7. Accounting, let's say you did one paper. That's it. One paper one. That's all. Any small thing. But if you continuously do this, Lamai, little by little by little by little by little, let's say you first do this for your 7 days, 1 week. You look back at your 1 week and now see you have got so much of things done. Now, when you have a small daily plan, now why do most of you all end up sleeping? During the day, you realize I'm going to have a small nap. I'm going to do this. That is when, Lama, your head has so much to do, you don't know what to do. But if you have a small daily plan, you can get it done. Because then your head knows, okay, somehow I will finish this, then my day is done. But if you don't have that small daily plan, you're thinking, are you accounting? I have to do all these papers, no business studies, I have to learn this unit, I have to do that, done for this, I have to do this. You're thinking too much, you get nothing done. So instead of thinking too much and getting nothing done, you make a small plan, realistic one. Lava. It doesn't have to be, you know how much you can study for a day based on your studying time, based on your speed, you know how much you can get that. So you make a small plan. Lava. That's okay. You might not do a lot of things. That's all right. You're also human. Everyone out there is human. Lava. You can't study for 24 hours a day. Within your given hours, see how much, at least a little you can do, get that done. then you will properly get that done. And 1 week later, 1 month later, once you look back, you will see, wow, I have done so much of work. So that is very important. That's how you save a lot of time. Because otherwise, you waste time. You're on your phone, you're sleeping, you don't know where to start. You're walking around the house, you're taking breaks, you're having some food, you're watching some TV, you're saying, right after this, I will start studying. But none of it happens because your brain doesn't know where to start. So, in the morning or late at night before you go to sleep, whatever that works for you, make a plan for the next day. Make a small, realistic plan. Trust me, Lamai, with that, you will save a lot of time. It looks like a little, but along the days, that's a lot of work. Along with this small, realistic plans, if you can also have the time tracker to see how much of time you're wasting, how much of time you're studying, that can help. So that's something that I would say on what you can do to manage your time. Then a few questions that I got on the chat box is, what if I don't feel like studying at all? I think I'm not touching on that part because I touched that, I think 4 months ago when I did a session like this. For that, Lamine, what you have to do is you need to find your why. Why are you doing this? So if you don't feel like studying at all, find that why. Why am I really doing all of this? It could be different reasons, Lamine. Something that really motivated me was to get it done, at least for my parents. So I know I'm coming from a very normal middle class family. I know how difficult it was for my parents to, let's say, pay school fees, to cover up the class fee for all the 13 years of schooling. They have sent me to school, done everything. So at least for me, that motivation was, at least when I'm ending my schooling life, I will end it in a good note so that I will give them something. And from there on, I will not be a burden for them. So I somehow wanted to get into a local university because I know that is free. And then my parents will not have to pay a school fee or anything after that. So that was my motive. That was my buy. Different people can have different whys. Some of you all can say, I'm doing this for my girlfriend. Some of you all might say, okay, I'm doing this too for something else. So you might have different reasons to get it done. But if that reason is strongly embedded in your heart, that is where you will start studying. So I didn't talk about that much because I did it a few months ago. For those who don't feel like studying, find the reason why you need to get it done. I think one reason that most of us can agree is getting it done for our parents' level. Just think how much they would have sacrificed. And I'll tell you, working is not easy. Right now, you all are studying 11. Right now, you all know if you don't feel like going to school, you can stay at home. That's the story. Tomorrow, can't go to school, not in a mood, you will stay at home. After a term exam, you have what? You have around 1 month of a holiday. Now, just think of your father or whoever in your family who is working, Lama. Do they have those options? I don't think. If they feel like not going to work for tomorrow, can they stay at home? They have to. Do they get that 1 month holiday that uh, you get after your term exam? Why do they do that? Not just for them, it's also to look after all of. So, given that reason, make sure that you end your A-level journey on your, not just your A-level journey, your entire schooling journey on a high note. And I'll tell you that on the day that you get your result, the tear on your mother's or father's eyes, that is going to be priceless if you do well. If you do bad, that the fact that your mother and father are trying to hide your results from your relatives, that is going to hurt you so, so bad. That guilty feeling, I don't think any of you should experience. Your parents should be proud enough to tell your result maybe to your family, to the family, to everyone, right? So give them that excitement. I don't know when your A-level results would come out. Probably if you do it in November, somewhere around in, let's say, March. So next year by March, when your result comes out, your mother, your father have to proudly say, look here, my son got this. So it's up to you to give them that pride for all what they have done to you up to. So you have that, why am I going to really get this done in your heart properly embedded? You will then get it done. Because I know this is not easy, Lamai. When your alarm rings at early in the morning at around 4 o'clock, you're like, do I really need to get up and get this done? Sometimes at night, you're asleep, your feet is in a bucket of water and you're trying to get this done. Some of y'all are drinking cups of coffee and keeping yourself awake and getting it done. But if you know that why, this is why I am doing it, you will then do. If there is no motivating factor behind it, Lamai, you are not going to get anything done. So find that why, then things will fall into place. I have a lot of questions on my chat box, Lamai. Shall I take it at the end once I'm done with the session? Some of it will get clarified along the way because I already have around 20, 30 questions. I'll come to it little by little because it keeps on scrolling up and up. Is that okay in terms of time managing? Yes. Say how to make better use of your time. Okay. So with that, going to the next biggest problem that you have is how do I write answers? And also, sir, I study, but I don't remember. Okay. How do I write answers and how to study? I don't remember. So you study, you don't remember. And also the other problem you have is how to write answers. Okay. How to write. And yes, even if you're a second shy student, I think this can help. I think, Lamai, right now, all what you have studied is somewhere inside your brain. Trust me, it is. Your brain is, Lamai, a marvelous creation by God. Whatever that you have studied is somewhere inside your brain. You think you have forgotten it, but not really. It's somewhere hidden inside your brain. Some of you all are struggling to write answers. The big one solution for all of that is you do papers. You have to start doing papers. I'll talk about the mock exam series as well. It doesn't have to be my mock exam series. Do past papers, especially past papers now. And another biggest mistake that some of y'all do, Lama, y'all try to do this all unwanted papers. These different school papers, fine, your school paper you do, but don't worry about getting other school papers and all of that if you have not done the past papers. If you have done all the past papers, when they are නැත්තම්, then go and get the other school past papers and do come on net. Because the biggest problem is with all these other papers, Lama, you all have these different provincial papers, different AKK. All those get translated either from Sinhala to English, sorry, Tamil to English, it gets translated. And especially when it gets translated, the English is completely off. And when you have a paper like that, there are so much of new terms now. Because whoever who is translating that from Sinhala to English, he has so much of different terms, which he has so much of different things. It's very hard for you to understand. And also those papers have mistakes. And you don't even have a marking scheme to correct your answer and see later. Don't waste your time doing that if you have not done the past paper. So in terms of papers, get a proper set of past papers. So past papers, Lama, you can work from 2011 to 2023. If you have done all of this, එතකොට ළමයි, do the old past papers also. Do now for something like econ, you can do from 2002 to 2010. Some of these might not be relevant, but 90% of it is still relevant. You can do. And along with that, if you can also get hold of a proper mock exam series. So whoever that you're going classes for, it doesn't have to be me. Any other A-level teacher that you're going under are doing papers. They're doing their own papers. I will also do for my paper. But you, whatever class that you're going to, do that. So I think those along with the past papers. Because every week, if you can work on doing papers, your knowledge gets refreshed every week. Your answer writing develops every week. So that way, you work on your answer writing format. You remember stuff, so you will not start forgetting things, and you can get it done. Otherwise, Lamai, if every time you forget, if you're just going to open a tute and read that again, you will not have time for papers. Along with doing papers, you can study things. You might have not completed studying the entire syllabus, but that's all right. You write with what you know, little by little by little by little by little, you will start getting better and better. I'll give you a plan. Don't worry. I'll tell you for the weak people what you can do, for the smart guys what you can do. I'll give you a small plan. So that is for all three subjects. For you who thinks, if you are someone who doesn't remember, if you don't know how to write answers and all of that, possible to go to C to a A. Can depends on your answer writing. Again, the more papers that you do. So then this thing, Lamai, different students are at different levels. Now, all of y'all, the 260 people of y'all who are in this meeting, all of y'all are not at the same level. So the plan is not the same for everyone. The plan for a 90-mark student is not the same for someone who is struggling to pass and get the 40 mark. So different people are at different levels. I'll give you broadly two plans that you can follow. So for someone, Lamai, now, if you're looking at some of y'all might be at the level of, let's say, this is the highest. Now, if you're at a level of 100, I don't think you will be at this meeting. I don't think any of y'all are at the level of 0 also. All of y'all are somewhere between this. So the first thing that you should do is identify where you actually are. Don't fake yourself, and you don't have to lie to yourself. So if this is the pass mark, let's say the pass mark, right? So right now, try to figure out, are you someone at this range? Okay. So that means you're falling a little behind. I'll give you a plan. Falling not a lot, but you're falling a little behind. If you're right now at a level of 0, Lamai, that's a lot behind. But let's say you're at the 20s, at the 30s, so you're falling a little behind. If you are at, let's say, somewhere from here to 60, your target is to somehow get the A, then to get that 90. If you're already at, let's say, a 75, already you're at a 75 level, your target is to hit that 95s and get the district and the island ranks that are out there. If you're at a level of 30, don't dream of an island rank now. Dream of little by little how you're going to develop. So I'll give you a plan. You can't go Lamai, all of a sudden from here to here, yanna back. It doesn't work. So every week, you have 100 days from now, 105 days. You little by little try to up the ladder. Right? From here to here, here to here, here to here. You do it little by little, you will realize it is possible. I'll show you how it's done, and I'll show you what you need to. So you first figure out which level are you at. That I don't know. I will see that when you submit your marks in the mock exam paper, but apart from that, right now I don't know where do you fit. So you figure out that in the mock exam registration form, I asked you, there was a question asking what is your current level. Based on that, I will do something for you all as well. But you figure out that first. Then, Lamai, if you're someone who is a little weak, let's say right now, you're a student who is somewhere between 0 to 40 marks. That means, let's say you're not even passing the exam. If you're a student like that, don't all of a sudden dream for a 90. First, we'll focus on passing the exam. little by little. Once you think you're at that level, then you figure out that you go to a little bit of a higher level. So then, Lamai, for the ones who are a little weak, if you're at the level of, let's say, 0 to 40 marks right now, that's where you think you are. Then I will tell you to focus on the units that I have highlighted here on this screen. That is unit number 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. Most of you all know this, but for the weak people who don't know this, why am I telling you this is, with these 5 units, with unit number 1, in your A-level paper, you can do question number 1. With unit number 2, you can do question 2, this paper 2. You can do question 3. With unit number 7, you can do question 6. With unit number 8, you can do question 7. So you know, at least I'm guessing you all would have seen your A-level paper. Yep, you would have seen your A-level paper. The first 6 units is your part A. Second 6 units is your part B. At least you have to do 2 questions from each part. So you can't study only grade 12 and do your paper. So if you are okay with this, question 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, that covers your entire paper 2 of 100 marks. So your entire paper 2, you can get done. Then, in addition to that, these 5 units give you around 22 MCQs. So 22 MCQs can my 44 marks. So then, out of 200 marks, with these 5 units, you're well prepared for 144 marks. How many marks do you need to pass the exam? I think the pass mark is, I know, let's say 40. Not sure the exact mark is. Let's say it's 40. So if it's 40, out of 200, you only need 80. You only need 80 marks to pass the exam. With these 5 units, if you get all correct, you get 140. So you will be well above the pass mark with just these 5 units itself. You're just a little bit less than an A level. For an A, you need 150 out of 200. With these 5 units, you're preparing yourself for 144 marks. So you can definitely pass the exam. But then some of you all think, when you say these 5 units, it's just about studying these units. So when I tell you for the weak people, these are the weak ones, the ones who are at least at the level of 40 or less. So first what you need to do is, first study the units. After studying the units, you have to do as much as possible questions for that unit. So do all the past papers related to that unit, like how we do in our past paper class. Go unit wise. So first, let's say ideally 1 unit a week. So let's say you start tomorrow. We start with unit number 1. Take around 2 to 3 days to study the unit. Okay. Whatever note, whatever you have, take around 2 to 3 days to study that unit. After that, do all the past papers from that unit. Start with the MCQs. First do the 2011 Unit 1 MCQs. I have sent you all the PDFs also. Do that. Do the questions. See where you went right, see where you went wrong. Mark it. Learn from where you went wrong. Then go to the 2012 MCQs. 2012, there must be around 4 to 5 MCQs. Unit number 1. Do those 4 and 5. See where you went wrong. Mark it, correct it, learn from it. Move to 2013. So little by little by little by little, every single year, you're correcting your mistakes. You're getting better and better and better and better. Once the MCQs are done, you then move to the essay question. 2011 Unit 1 essay question. Write answers, Lavan. Right. If you can't even write on your own, look at the tute and write. Then learn from it. See where you go wrong. Then go to 2012. Do that. Go to 2013. So that if you can get all of that done, let's say within 1 week or at least 10 days, you're done with unit number 1. Done. Now you go to unit number 2. You then go to unit number 3. So little by little. So if you can take 50 days, now how many days do you have? You have 100 days, Nilamai. If you can take 50 days out of those 100 days, starting from tomorrow, let's say 10 days, 10 days, 10 days, you can get to that what? You can get to that 144 mark that we. So 10 days per unit. If you're at a level of 0 to 40, 10 days per unit. Study the unit, do all the questions. Study the unit, do all the questions. That part is very important, Lama. It's not about just studying a unit. Because to see whether you have actually understood the unit, to see whether you can actually write an answer, you have to write. Okay. Once you're done with that, then I will recommend you can do a few more things, Lama. After you're done with, let's say you do all of this game, like I told you, you take 10 days per unit for 50 days. Next 50 days, you study these 5 main units. 144 marks covered. Then you have another 50 days to go. Then what you can? Then you, Lama, you can work on unit number 11 and 12. That is something a lot of students ignore. Unit number 11 and 12, I have even in my theory class, I have taught it in a way that you can do the MCQs. I don't encourage you all to do the essay questions. In 8 hours, or I think 6 to 8 hours, I have summarized the entire 2 units. So then, Lama, in 8 hours, if you have that recording, in 8 hours, 11 and 12 gives you 8 MCQs. Also, you need to know a little bit of current context also, not just theory. Current context is what I send you all in the past paper group. I send you all sometimes in the morning, this happened, that happened. Those things are product, know those. And even if they ask, it's going to be a very easy one, current context. So that is 16 marks there. So unit number 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 gives you 144 marks. Then you spend around 8 hours just to study unit number 11 and 12. Do all the past paper MCQs. In 2 to 3 days, you can do that. You are now at a level 144 plus 16. Now for the 200 mark paper, you are ready to write for 160 marks. After that, if you have more time, just have more time, then you study the other units little by little to do the MCQs only. Don't have to study that very in depth. Just study the basics of it. Do all the past papers. So little by little, then you add on these also. But at least you're guaranteed now that you will pass, Lamai, because you have come to this 160 mark level. At least you know, Lamai, out of 160, 80 you can get to somehow. But writing answers is important, Lamai. Again, I'm telling you, not just reading a note from these units. You have to write. The more you write, the better you will. So that is for the ones who are a little weak or falling a little behind. You have enough and more days to still pass the exam. 10 days a unit. 50 days you're done with the main 5 units that I told you. Ita passe maybe 11 and 12 and a few other units that you can. And then Lamai, now if you now study this also, you need to have some material now. If you don't have a way of covering these units, so let's say you don't have a note, you don't have a way of covering it, you can purchase my theory class recordings and tunes and get it covered. So I think you all know that it's available. It is way cheaper than going to a individual class, way cheaper than joining the 2025 batch or 2026 batch. That's a waste of time and waste of money. So you can get any one unit for 2,500. That is the complete set of recordings and tunes. Any one unit is given at 2,500. Any 3 units you can get at 5,500. Let's say you want unit 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. So these 5 units you can get at a 7,000. This is only if you don't have a way of covering them. If you have a note, if you know the unit, don't buy it. Don't for lies. You don't have to waste your parents' money. If you have no way of covering it, then at least get hold of this is not 7,000, this is 7,500. Okay. So for 7,500, you can cover up these 5 levels. You don't have a way of covering it up. So you get a complete set of recordings per unit has around, per unit has around, I would say, roughly around 20 hours of recordings. So if you allocate around 5 hours a day, in 4 days, you can cover a unit. If you allocate less 2 hours a day, it will take 10 hours. That's based on how much time you allocate. One unit will have roughly around 20 hours broken into parts. That's up to you. After you do the recording, you get the recordings. So you get the recordings plus you get the tip. So this is if you want to cover up any unit level. Now, not just the weak students, even the ones who are smart enough, you can get that done. Fast track, I'll come to that. I don't have all the units, I have a few. You can get that. Is that okay, Lamai, for the ones who are struggling and don't know what to do? Say, right now you're at a little bit of a weaker level. Somehow we can get this done. Then, Lamai, for the ones who are at least above 40. Yes, MCQ books, it's there. I'll let you all know. Okay. For the ones who are at least, Lamai, let's say you don't have to be at 60, right? So even let's say you're at a level of 40 to 60, or let's say you're at least at a level of 60 plus. I'll tell you what you can do to write answers for that. Lamai, for y'all also, let's say the 40 to 60 people, 40 to 60 people, again, your target is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Make sure you're good with that. I think you should be okay with it. That's why you're at least at a level of 40 to 60. Work on the other units. Maybe if you feel like you can't do the essay questions for those units, at least work on the other units for the MCQs. Answer writing. Practice, practice, and practice. The more you write, the better you will. Because you're already at a level of 50 to 60 means you have studied. It's somewhere in your head. You just have to bring that out now. And for the people who are at least, let's say, at a level of 60, your target is not just to go to 75, 60 to 75, and 15 marks. We don't have to do this mock exam and all of that just to get 15 marks. If you think you're at a level of 60, your target is at least to get to a 90. Or even, let's say, 98. I'll keep 100 out because 100, you might make a careless mistake. At least to get to that level, if you're at least at a 60 right now in the next 3 months. So I'll show you how we can get that done. So first of all, if you're at a level of a 60, your target has to be to get to 75 first. Forget it. Don't think about 90 all of a sudden. First think about 75. Now, even 75, to get 75, you need 150 out of 200. 50 marks you can get wrong. In addition to that, in your paper too, you have such a big choice. So getting that 150 is not that hard. And once you get to that, we'll then plan to the 90s. And I'll show you how to get into the 90s at your level. How do you find your level? By doing an exam level. Otherwise, you will never know what your current level is. So I'll show you how you can get to this 90s using the mock exam series. And already, I think most of you are part of it. It doesn't have to be my mock exam series. Join any teachers, any mock paper class now, where you all will do papers, where you will write. That is what is important. Don't join a theory class now. Don't learn theory. Theory, cheapest way, get my recordings and count it up. That's cheapest and fastest. Don't join a theory class with 3 months to go. You have to work on papers and get that done. Yes, you join a theory class now to do 1 unit, the teacher will take 1 month. You can't spend 1 month to learn 1 unit. Get my recordings in 3-4 days, you finish it off. That's if you are looking at joining a theory class. But if join a mock exam series, can be mine, can be any other teachers, that's all right. Write answers. Papers. The more you write, you will refresh your theory. You will start remembering stuff. Your answer writing gets better. Your paper 2 answers are nice now. And you will work on. So how do you realistically get there, Lamai? It's like this. I'll come back to my why it works thing. Okay. I'll tell you how this works, how the mock exam series that I will do work to help you get into that level of a 90. So in my mock exam series, we will be doing 24 full papers. Full papers are, these are not unit wise papers, these are full papers. From the 24 papers, 12 papers are overall mock exams I have made. They are way harder than the A-level paper. The other 12 are past papers. So 12 overall mock papers, 12 past papers in 3 months. So 24 papers, 3 months is 12 weeks. So what we will do, Lamai, every week, so let's say week number 1, that is what we are starting from next week. Next week, no, from tomorrow onwards, we start week 1. So every week, you will be doing one mock paper. So one overall mock paper. So that paper has a paper 1, 50 MCQs from the entire syllabus, 100 marks. There is a paper 2, 10 essay questions, 100 marks. Plus, you will also do a past paper. So first week, you will do the 2011 A-level past paper. So every week, you will do 2 full papers. Here also you do a paper 1. Here also you will do a paper 2. So you do a paper 1, paper 2, paper 1, paper 2. So every week, 2 full papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 1, paper 2. You will be doing 1 every week. This, I will be marking it and giving. So all, even the past paper that you do will be marked and given. So how it works is, just to explain for those who are completely lost, already some of you all have the papers. At the start of the month, the overall mock exams will be printed and sent to your doorstep. Some of you all already have. You all have this file. Most of you all got it. I checked in the system. You all have this file. So this file has 4 main papers. First month, paper 1, paper 2, answer booklet. So I send the answers also at the start of the month for your studying purpose, but please don't refer to that when writing the answers. But there is paper 1, paper 2, answers. Likewise, there are 4. So then every week, when do we have classes? So mock exam students, please listen. When do we have classes, Lamai? Our class schedule is on Tuesday. I'll tell you what you can do if you have not covered the syllabus. Tuesday 7 to 10. Wednesday 7 to 10 p.m. and Sunday early morning from around 6:30 to 8 a.m. So there are 3 classes a week. 3 classes a week, yeah, 12 classes a month. So what we do in these 3 classes is, on Tuesday, we will discuss this paper 1. Overall mock 1, paper 1 will be discussed on Tuesday. So that means class is from 7 to 10. By 6 o'clock, you will submit your answers. To submit your MCQ answers, I will give you a monada. I will give you a Google form link. You will submit it. You will get your marks accordingly. I can see them. For paper 2, Lamai, all of y'all are paper 2 we will discuss on Wednesday. So Wednesday 7 to 10 is paper 2. So by 6 o'clock on Wednesday, you have to submit the paper 2. That paper, y'all will be, Lamai, divided into subgroups, something that we will start from this month, because it's very hard for me right now. There are around 220 students registered. I am planning to close registrations at around 240. So if once 240 reaches, I have hired 6 of my past students who will work as mock exam coordinators in the next 3 months. So each of my coordinator will get 40 of y'all. If there are 240 total students, so we will be divided into 6. So I will get, each of y'all will be divided into small groups of 40. Then your coordinator, Lamai, she will be the one, she or he will be the one. They are my past students who got district and island ranks. They know what to do. So they will be the people who will be guiding you on how to submit these answers. Like you will have to scan those and submit. They will be the ones along with me marking those papers. And every week you will do the paper within 7 days. By the time you submit your next paper, your current paper will be marked and kept. So this, let's say this week, Wednesday, you submit paper one, paper two. Next week, Wednesday, before you submit the next paper, this paper will be marked and given along with feedback. You will know how much marks you got. You will know where and where you need to improve. You learn from that. You improve on the next paper. Okay. Then the past paper, Lamai, every week on Sunday, you will have a deadline to submit the past paper. So past paper, I will not take classes like this to discuss because I do that in my free past paper class. And those are there in my YouTube channel as well, what I did for the last paper. So then what you can do is you can get that done as well. On Sunday, so every week, by Tuesday, you submit paper one. Wednesday, you submit paper two. On Sunday, you submit the past paper, paper one, and paper two. So when you do it, I don't care. Now, some of you all know my Tuesday might be a very busy day for you. You might not have time to do it. That's why my papers are sent at the start of the month. So if you think you're busy, you do the paper early and all the papers will be marked. The overall papers will be marked. Past papers will also be marked. So every week you do 2 papers. Every week you will get those marked as well. So within 7 days of submitting, you will get that. So for the mock exam series students, so this Tuesday, that's our first class where we start at 7 o'clock. By 6 o'clock, you have to submit mock 1, paper 1. For those who have not got the papers yet, I will send you the PDF. I will send you the link. I will send the instructions on the group as well. You need to submit it. And yes, Lamai, the best part of this is all these classes are recorded and given on my website also. So even if you miss the live class, you can log into the website. You don't have to keep troubling me saying, sir, recording. It's available on my website. You log into the website, you can watch. So within around 2 hours of the class, I will upload the recording on the website. Or let's say within 1 hour, I will somehow try and upload. So then, if you miss the live class, log into the website, watch the recording, get that done. You can watch the recording unlimited times until A-levels. You can only use 2 devices from the same location. 1 phone, 1 laptop, ideally from the same location so that the account isn't shared around. So don't worry about the class clashing and all of it. So even if you miss the discussion, that's all right. Make sure the paper is submitted on time. So a deadline is there for a deadline. If you don't submit the paper by the deadline, you will not, if you don't submit the paper by deadline, you will not get it marked because it's very strict, Lamai, because the coordinators also work in a plan. You submit the paper, we will mark it and we will give it to you. You will have a subgroup coordinator because it's very hard for me to reply to all your messages. Your group coordinator is someone who has a very good island rank. Right now is waiting for university entrance. You can text them and get some of your doubts clarified as well. If they can't clarify, they will pass it to me. I will clarify it for you. So that's to make sure that the communication and all gets smoother and you get faster replies and you can easily control and get things done. Then, Lamai, how do you improve on this now? How do you get to that 90? Now, you just think, Lamai, I shared a flyer also. You start you're doing 24 papers. Right? Submit your papers, Lamai. We will send you the printed papers. MCQs, you will submit it through a Google link. The paper 2, you will take pictures of your answer, scan it into a PDF, and send it to us. I will send those instructions on the group. Don't worry that I will send it to you. So then you will start with, Lama, you're doing 24 papers. So in your first paper, now for someone who is at a level below 40, still okay. But at least let's say, Lama, in your first paper, you get 40 marks. First paper, you get 40 marks. Then what happens? Now you're doing 24 papers, one full paper, one mock paper. Every paper, Lama, paper 2, paper 3, all the way until paper number 24. Just think, every paper, I'm not asking for something very big. I'm asking you from the paper that you do. Now, during the week, you will do a paper. You will come for the discussion. Learn from that discussion. See where you went wrong. See what you did wrong. Go back to your theory tutor and recap that area. Learn from that area. So every paper, if you can improve 2 to 3 marks, not asking for something big, because you're coming for the discussion. Now you got 40, you got 60 marks wrong. Where is that 60 wrong? What happened to that 60? Come ask me in the discussion, we will discuss those. So figure that out. Then the next paper you go to 42 or maybe 43. Either 2 or 3 marks you have improved. Now paper 2. And little by little by little by little, every paper, if you do that, Lamai, you have to write and submit that. Don't read answers and do nonsense. You write your answer, you submit, you get the feedback of the mark paper, we will discuss the paper, see where you went wrong, see what happened, improve 2 to 3 marks. That's your target. Don't worry about beating anyone else, beat your own mark. Every paper, at least 2 to 3 marks higher. You go there, go there, go there, go there. So just think, Lama, every paper, if you improve 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, by the whole time, by the time you come to the 24th paper, you can easily be at a level of 80 to 90 or even more than a 90. That is the plan that we have. So even if you are at a level of 40. So now the question is, sir, I have not finished studying the syllabus. What do we do? The mock exam series will help if you have at least studied 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8. At least with those 5 units, you can do paper 2. No? At least you are done doing paper 2 then. So at least if you have studied that, you can be a part of the mock exam series and you can work. By any chance, if there is someone who has not studied it and still joined, don't worry, you can drop me a text. I will give you a plan. So it's that continuous little by little improvement. Even when you are studying, when I told you, make small realistic plans. Don't make plans that are all of a sudden, I'm going to finish all of this back. Today, I will do this small part. Tomorrow, I will do this small part. Okay. So you study little by little by little by little, you can get that done. You might not be thorough, Lama. Anyone will not be thorough with the units. That's all right. So when you all are writing answers, that's okay. As long as you can do paper 2, you're fine. No? So to do paper 2, Lama, you all have to do 5 questions. No? This is the shortest way of getting the 5 units. But you have done, let's say, you have learned 9 and 10, right? You can do question number 8. You have learned unit number 4. You can do question number 4. You have learned 5 and 6. You can do question number 5. So I am saying this is the short. It is not the only way. But at least if you have done this, you can get things. So then, first paper, never mind. You get low, get a 40. Even my first paper, even if you get 30. Every paper, if you improve 2 to 3 marks, just add and see 24 into 2 or 3. So you get 30 per first paper. Every paper you improve 2 marks. 24 papers later, you're 48 marks more. 30 becomes a 78 at the end of 24 papers. So you have to write. Then you will see your improve. Your answer writing formats will get better. You will see now the words are coming nicely. Because you're doing, every week you're doing 2 full papers, Lamai. You write. Then after that, once the mock exam series is done, we'll have a final seminar. And then you have your final exam. Your exam comes, now you're very confident you can get everything done now. So follow that plan, have a similar plan for your other subjects as well. I don't know if other teachers are doing mock exam series, but if you can do that, along with your past papers, do the mock papers also. Probably any other teacher who does it also will have Nilamai for your other subjects, even for econ. Every paper, beat your own mark. You don't have to be competitive trying to beat someone else is not your concern. You're not trying to beat someone else, you're trying to beat you. So I'm telling you, Nama, you can easily get that A even if you start at 40. Even if you start at 40, You improve 3 marks, you will get there. And then in terms of the class itself, the mock exam series, there's a little bit of bad news also, but the good news about the whole class is the printed papers will send to your doorstep. Some of you all have already got it. We will discuss all the overall mock papers. Recordings of all of these classes will also be there. You can watch it any amount of times until A levels. All your mock papers, along with the past papers, I will mark it and give with feedback. 3 classes a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, 12 classes a month. You also get an overall coordinator who you can text every time, sort your doubts out. You get a person like that. And also the monthly fee is a 4,500, considering 12 classes a month, printed papers, papers marked, recordings, everything. It's kept at a very nominal level of 4,500. That is the good news. The bad news of this is registrations for the mock exam series. I'll come to this. There is only, when I was making the slides, there were around 30 slots left. Now, if I'm not mistaken, because in the last 2-3 hours also a few people registered, there is only around another 20 to 25 slots left. So right now, I think there is around 225 students who have registered, paid and registered. I'm thinking of capping it at 240 so that my students get 40 people each. A little bit more, we'll see. I can do something, but I'm looking at keeping it there. If you're all registered, then don't worry. But for people who are newly looking at registering, there is only that amount of slots left. It will be allocated on first come, first serve basis. Can you start from September? You can. If you think you want to take a break and come back, you can, given that there are slots available on that bar. And one more thing, Lamai, this whole mock exam series and all of it, if you are not going to do the papers, please don't join. I don't want any of you all to come and join if you're not going to do these papers. There are 2 papers a week. If you think you don't have the time, if you think you're not willing to commit and get that done, don't come. Because on my end, if I can get the coordinators, if I can get those marked in a week, if I can do everything, I don't want you to pay the fees for license, just collect the paper and read it and wait. I don't want that to happen. Okay. Please don't join the class and collect the this file is there. And some of you all have that nonsense also. You all don't study anything, but you want to collect all the material. You want to collect the papers. You have put the paper, this paper, that paper. Come on, collect, but you have not done anything. If that is your objective, don't join. So I'm warning you now itself. That's why I had a slide on this also. Do not join if you're not going to do the work. Every week there are 2 papers. And please don't be the crowd that gives excuses, not the crowd that I really like. I know you have term exams. I know you have this. I know you have that. And remember, it's not just you. Everyone had it, Lavan. You think when I was doing A-levels, I didn't have term exams? When I was doing A-levels, do you think I did not have different club and society work? Do you think I didn't have any prefectship related work? I had that as well. So don't be the crowd. Do you think I didn't have other classes? We had physical classes now. We had physical classes from morning to evening, and that was so hectic. So don't be that crowd that gives excuses saying exam sir, term exam sir, this sir, that sir, this sir, that sir. The papers are sent at the beginning of the month. If you feel that few days are busy, do the paper early. If the deadline is Tuesday, you don't have to do it on Tuesday. You can do it the previous week itself and keep. So on Tuesday, don't come and tell me, sir, how early I came home after class, sir, I don't have time to finish it. Can I submit it tomorrow? Because the paper wasn't sent to you on Tuesday. The paper was sent to you 1 month before. So if you think Tuesday is a busy day, you do the paper early. So don't be the crowd that gives excuses. If you think you're someone who is going to give the excuses and not going to get the work done, please don't join. I don't want a big number of students. I just want number of students who will actually get the work done. That's why I closed registrations also after a certain point, because there is no It's not about getting so much of people. It's about getting people who will actually work and who will actually get the result. And that is why, even if you look at my results from even my previous batch are good. So from the 185 students I had from the previous batch, 110 of them got an A. I'm not saying everyone got an A. 110 of them got an A. There were students who even got a B. These were the students, Lamai, who at the last moment, 3-4 months before they were at a level of a very weak level, they at least I somehow was able to get them to pass. There were students like that as well. So 60% of them got an A, 77% of them got a A or a B. And from this 185, so that's how much the fast track and the mock exam and all of it helps. From the 185, 23 of them were among the top 100 in the district. So getting among the top 100 in the district is not that easy. So from the 185, 23 were among the top. So that itself proves or says it works. Don't join just to collect the payments. If you join, if you can get all the work done, see where you went wrong, improve from it, make use of your group coordinator that you will get, right? Ask her where your answers are wrong, him or her, right? See what happened. You do that, you will then improve. Otherwise, you will get them. So among these people, there were a few people among the top 100 in the island as well. But like I always say, top 100 to top 2, island first to island 200, the difference is a very few marks. That's about the careless mistakes you do, small things you do that we can't avoid. But we will try our level best to get as much as high as possible. So that is that part. The slots. So I'll end it with this, and I'm also happy to take up any questions after the session. Believe that you can, and you're halfway. Yeah, I think I told this to you all last time as well. Because if you have that attitude that you can't do this, you will never do this. You have 3 months to go. I told you, even for the weakest of students, I gave you a plan on what you can do. So believe in yourself. You will get it done. So that is where that I will end things at. With that, I'm happy to take up any questions. You can send it in the chat box. I will stay and answer. I will end this recording from here. And most of you all, I will see you all on Tuesday to start the mock exam series off. See you and have a nice